Welcome to the Miniatures Paintbrush. Today we're going to talk about miniature wargaming convention and one specifically, the Nova Open. So I registered for the Nova Open this year in Arlington, Virginia, and I was really nervous about going down there. And one of the reasons I was nervous about going down there is because I knew one of the painters that I really look up to, Mr. Vince Venturola, was going to be there, and he was like, "Yeah, man, let's hang out." So it was over the top. I really admire his work. I like employing a lot of the techniques. He really teaches and helps community. If you haven't checked it out, Painters Motivating Painters is an amazing resource where a lot of different types of painters come together. And no matter where you are in your journey, whether you're a beginning painter or whether you're a veteran painter, there's always positive, constructive criticisms to help you improve your painting style. So if you're into painting, check that out. It's called a PMP. It's Google Plus. Mr. Vince Venturola. It's called Painters Motivating Painters. You need to check that out. And of course, his channel, Mr. Vince Venturola, has his own channel as well. In the convention, you had a lot of different tournaments going on. I am not a tournament player, so I went in, just looked at the tables, which were gorgeous, and they had a photo-video policy. I think that during the matches, tournaments, you couldn't have any photography being taken inside those sessions. So I don't have any pictures of the boards while people were playing. However, I went around the convention center
and I saw a display for Warhammer and bits upon bits upon bits. It was amazing. You could find anything there. They really need chairs so you can sort things out though. But amazing. We have some Nurgling coming in from the new set. Shapeways was there where you can order custom bits. I love this sculpt. I want to make mine like that. And here was the table for Warhammer community. They set up. This is the official GW table. All GW products here. We have Scorn, Blood for the Blood God. And then we have, yes, my Stormcast Eternals. I do have to get those done. And then on this side we have a Warhammer 40k, the new Dark Imperium box set. Great terrain, awesome board. Look at that. Lighting wasn't great here for some reason. And in the background they were taking pictures of people with Warhammer weapons. More about that later.
I took pictures of the artwork that was on display for the competition.
Make no mistake, the artwork was gorgeous. Look at the details on the face and on the sword. Look at the face, how it's highlighted, those teals, the purple. I mean, it's so rich and the blends are so beautiful. Look at the non-metallic metal doors. The scenery was outrageous on this piece. If you take a look at the base on this piece, how well integrated everything is, the smoke effects, that Mega Boss, and there was a lot of lighting effects with the Tau. These guys had little beads of light, very, very tiny, embedded in them. This scene, of course, for my Death Army, like these guys. And then we had Weird Miniatures was represented there with Malifaux. That's a great scene, awesome. This is definitely Vince's work. I know I saw it on his channel. Mr. Man making some Stormcast. Here is an environmental piece, again from Vince. One last planet left in a world of chaos. Also from Vince, he made those armatures, which are amazing, and the paintings are amazing. And here's some Zinj, Icy Zinj, very, very cool. And then we have some more Tau with some more glowing effects. And we have Look at the non-metallic metal on this piece. That purple is just amazing. I just love it. Over here, it's a shame the light does not do this piece justice. This is an amazing piece. Then we have Star Wars, a little bit, a female, I guess, a stormtrooper, which is amazing as well. Oh man, I don't know if that was scratch built. Here we have just the bust of a mermaid, which is really, the skin tones are amazing. Speaking of which, this goblin, these greens, the shades, the shadows, amazing. Here is one that my teacher at the convention did, Mr. Matt, and I believe he did the followings. It's just amazing work. And again, he taught me the two-brush technique. Maybe not again, but I will mention it. And yeah, I believe this is all of his work. What talent. Look how realistic that looks. It's amazing. I hope to aspire to be like that one day. Again, the cloths, the materials, how they separate. You see the skin textures. Oh, it's another one from Vince. I know I saw it on his show. I like the way that it's just coming out of that painting into real life. Amazing effect. Ascension. I remember that one. Again, another one from Vince. Vince, you're putting all your pieces in, I guess, right? Yeah. Well, there was no limit, right? Look at the artwork on top of this plane. I don't even know what that's from. And check out this weird miniature. That is so realistic. That is so creepy. I love the gloss effects on the eyes. It's amazing. I went this guy, artist's wife, who said he did the following 3. Amazing work. Absolutely amazing work. And look at the way the cloth see through around the knee area and how those purple robes just flow. Breathtaking work. Another one of Vince's pieces. Just, yeah, just that way. There's some more busts of a mermaid, and it looks like some kind of renegade, or I'm not sure. Look at that fence work. Like the amount of hours put into that, and the skin textures. There's Hellboy done. That was featurette. That lighting doesn't do it justice. There's another one of Vince's pieces, and I would love to play my Titan versus his ones that one day. Look at this new Primaris tank. This grab tank is just amazing. Look at the panels going up to white like that. The subtlety. And this is my most impressive tank I think I saw at the show. Beautiful work.
Now this year, yeah, I'll own up to it. I wussed out. I completely wussed out. I was going to enter the competition, and I was like, I'm not good enough. I regret that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you feel you're not good enough, then try anyway. If you're going to be at a convention center and you really love painting and that's what you're going for, the worst that could happen is you get criticism, but constructive, that'll help you improve your process and your journey of your painting. So it's a win-win for everybody. Plus, your work gets displayed on a crystal case in a glass cabinet. I don't know if it's crystal, but in a glass cabinet, so this way everybody can see your work. So your hard work gets displayed for everyone to see. Win-win, in my opinion. Okay, so let's get on to what I did at the convention. Of course, I was glued to watching those miniatures being displayed. Here's a picture. Next, I went around the Arlington area and I had lunch with my wife, Nicole, who was there with me. We perused the neighborhood, and they have food carts there, a lot of accessibility there. Parking is rare. Luckily, I found parking and it was free on the street. Like, yeah, I was really lucky. The stars aligned on that one. Thank you. All right, so I went there and I bought some stuff. So let me show you some of the stuff that I got. I went to Fallout Miniatures, where I met the owner of Fallout Miniatures, and that's these guys right here. I'll show you a picture. great people, very helpful. They had a deal there where they were doing transfer sheets, but what I was really interested in, and I saw on their website, but I don't know, I was too cheap to pay shipping and handling, right? So I found them there, and I got these two, and what they are is vinyl airbrush stencils. Okay, what you do with these, if you own an airbrush, is that you lay the sticky surface down. Now these are reusable, I was told. As long as you don't get the surfaces dirty, they will stick and restick and restick and restick for multiple applications. And I got these two designs here because I have some Vargeist to do, and I have some wings that I want to really get some kind of texture to, so I thought these would be really cool to work with. And so what you do is you stick it onto the miniature. Well, what I would do, and what I'm going to do, and I'm sure I'll have a video about this when I hit that those Vargeist, is you paint the miniature, you have a gradient into it, and then you put these on there, and you have a different color gradient to it, or similar colors, so this way you have some variance, and a design pattern in it as well. And some of the effects look awesome. Really awesome. I have a picture of those. Next up, I took a class. On painting miniatures. And they had this pre-prime miniatures. I really wanted to work on my flesh tones because I feel like I'm where I am with that. I want to challenge myself to improve. And I took a class. Now this gentleman here, Matt, wonderful guy, he used to paint for Privateer Press. And most of the pictures you see for Warmer Hordes, he painted those, as he assured me. So, you know, I love his work. My work for the Troll Bloods are similar to his work. I used his as inspiration and added my own touches to it. So, I kind of mimicked his work, and I didn't even know him, and then I got to meet him face to face. Here is a picture of me working. Of course, when I saw a completely black miniature, which just gave me a completely black miniature, and I was going to paint skin onto it, I was like, ugh. No zenithal highlighting? I guess I've gotten spoiled, right? Well, I painted. I saw the two-brush painting technique, which was, I mean, phenomenal. How you hold the brushes, put one in your mouth, and how you pretty much lick a brush, which... another video on that method some other time as well, and how I employ it as I get to use it in my own style and how I use it, and then I'll report to you. But of course, I always feel that the miniature is only as good as the foundation you put onto it. So if you didn't shave off all the metally bits, which it had flashing and mold line on it, drove me crazy. And it had several layers of paint obscuring some of the detail. Drove me insane. So, yeah, I stripped it. So I'm going to be painting this guy up again. But this time I'm going to be using the techniques that I learned. Now he said, Matt said, that you just don't use one technique to blend. You use several. Now, I like to use the airbrush, and that's great for my base coat, having some nice blends. But he said then after you using those airbrush, you can also take it up another level, hit it up another notch by using that two-brush blending technique, which I'm really excited to try and to get comfortable with, so this way I can share it with you. Okay, next up, I got some fat mats for my table. And yes, I am building a gaming table. I've been building this gaming table for the past month now. It's not a cheaply put together table at an economic kind of level, although it is sort of economic because I have an awesome father-in-law and uncle-in-law who are carpenters and furniture makers. You can't get better than that, in my opinion. You know, if they pay you to do something, you have to be good at it, right? If you're making a living. So I have the entire process which I try to get out of their way for the most part and help them every way I can. Table's still a work in progress, but once that table is set, you can look forward to some battle reports and some games on it, maybe some RPGs going on, I don't know, 3D kind of thing going on. So that's up and coming. But to decorate this and to preserve the table as well, I went to the Frontline Gaming store, and I bought myself 2 4x6 mats, and these are neoprene mats. Right now they're still in their packaging, so I mean they're huge, and you will see them in up and coming videos. I have one for my Space Wolves, which is coming along, this unit here, just taking me, but but I'm happy with these guys. These guys came out pretty good in my opinion. Okay, so they gave me some free dice. There's my loot. Alright, and it says Table War. Alright, they say if you yell Table War while you roll them, you'll get all 6s. Table War! I got a 6 there. Well, there you go. There's 1 6 at least. Maybe I need to get a little louder with it. I don't know. So a lot of different people were there. I went to the Cool Mini or Not. They had demos of Dark Age, which was pretty cool, but I didn't play any of them. I'm such a stick in the mud, right? I am really slow to pick up on rules, so I can only imagine the frustration people might feel when they're teaching me how to wargame or do any kind of system. It just takes me so many times to get it right. Because once I figure out my head, though, like, I'll master it. I'll just, things click. And that's just the way I learn. So I didn't really demo any of the games, but I looked at the miniatures and I looked at the quality of the miniatures as well. Interesting series here. Okay, this is a storyteller, Blake Renworth, which I met there, and it's a unique story because if you read these kind of fantasy novels, it's the Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, but the Seven Dwarves are the ones that needed rescuing. Pretty cool stuff. It's called the Exiled series, and it's told in a storyteller voice in the first installment of this Exiled series, and really cool looking book. I really want to delve into this, but I am reading my Space Wolves omnibus, 2 of them, and I'm almost done with the first one. What else? Okay, my class, just a couple of studio painters here. Kat Jackson, The Hobby Hangout. It's on Facebook. Awesome people, really awesome people. I saw her there at Nova, but she was passing by, and I zigged, she zagged, I lost her. I wanted to say hi, so no pictures with that. Yep, CK Studios. Contrast Miniatures, Matt, and I keep saying Matt, but the name is Di Pietro. I know I'm chopping that up. I'm so sorry. But his work is absolutely phenomenal, and he was the one teaching the class. Massive Voodoo was there. Roman Lapat. Guys, this dude right here is amazing. Okay, his work is inspirational. I couldn't even get into the class, so maybe next year if he's around. Amazing premier artist. So if you want to improve your game and you're at a convention, yes, you could take painting classes and improve your painting class. There was also a speed painting competition. However, I'm a slow painter. I couldn't do it. I can't speed paint. I don't know. I'm trying. I got to push myself, maybe just to get out of the groove and just speed paint. I do have the Reaper Bones Kickstarter. I just backed the 4th. I have the 3rd, and I'm not gonna, put in a ton of time for the Reaper Bones, only because bendy swords. If I can find a way to clip them off and maybe replace them with something else and make them more sturdy, then yeah, I'll green stuff it and I'll work it and I'll make it look good. But if I can't, then yeah, for a D&D campaign, who knows when that might be, maybe in the future. Okay. So, that seems to be all I have. 2 mats, stencils, painting class with a miniature I'm going to have to paint, and meeting a hobby hero of mine. All in all, I'd like to thank my wife. I didn't get a chance to meet Duncan Rhodes. He's a hard man to keep track. He's always busy. That I can say. He worked hard at the show. He also taught a class there, which was, as you can imagine, packed to the gills. Although, Duncan does a great tabletop style, maybe a little bit of elevated tabletop style. Not my style. I like to highlight, where the light is catching and not really all around each panel, but that's just me. If you like that style of painting that he does, then that's amazing. But, mileage may vary on that one. Amazing Saturday. I met the Warhammer community though, and I took an awesome picture with my wife, and I'm gonna leave that out in the outro, so you're gonna see that. All right, well, I hope you like this video of my first gaming convention. If you do, give me a thumbs up, share with others, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time on the Miniatures Paintbrush.